Hi guys, welcome to workshop of Gnosis Chain. So today we will have two parts. First is a little more technical about how to build on Gnosis, what's the difference and benefits compared with other EVM chains. And the second part more focused on the business and convert result of your hackathon, an MVP which you have on the end, to convert to real world business and in unicorn, I hope. So let's start from the technical side. Oh, sorry, it's not updated. Okay, so my name is Arseny. I develop relations in Gnosis Chain. It's a list of my useless achievement. I previously was a founder of few startups, alumni of Alchemist Accelerator, and part of developer DAO Crypto Nomad Clubs. So, and I tell you why Gnosis makes sense to work. First of all, it's not just EVM chain. It's a layer. It's established sister chain to Ethereum with rich history. We working already approximately more than 8 years. We one of the most closest EVM chain to Ethereum. We have the same structure. We have backend chain with our native token for voting. It's a GNO, but in execution layer, we have XDAI as a token in which you pay for transaction fee. XDAI is just bridged original stablecoin DAI from Ethereum, so it's one of the reasons why transaction cost in our chain very cheap. And in consensus layer we have a GNO, as I said. We also have a ZK bridge. We call it Hashi. If you check our bounty platform, they have a few ideas what you can build on Hashi to be eligible for this bounty. And it gives us opportunity to use a Gnosis chain as a data availability layer or as layer 2 to other chains. And based on this technology, also work in a Gnosis Pay if you was on the Ethereum CC. So as I said, the main idea of Hashi and other interoperability protocols is allows you to convert the EVM ecosystem with separate chain layer 2 to something like Cosmos, if you're familiar with this ecosystem. Because we all pretty old chain, we have a lot of projects which we can participate or can integrate to implement the same functionalities with already existing, and it's already shows that we have users and TVL on our chain. So and some useful docs, because we EVM chain, you don't need to learn something new. You can just use ordinary Ethereum tutorials to work, and some Gnosis specific we have in separate documentation. So useful links. By the way, could you lift your arm if you're a developer with previous experience with Ethereum? Okay. Sorry, I not expect that you're not experienced. Sorry for this. In any case, so for using our chain for rapidly developing, we provide you a file set, and file set you can have tokens not only for testnet, also for mainnet. The price of transaction so extremely cheap, so $1 will be enough on mainnet to deploy maybe 10 contracts. We also, of course, have Explorer, of course, free RPC. In chain list we have already button which you add our testnet and mainnet to MetaMask, and my contact if you need any technical support or advices. So if we want to talk about how to work with Gnosis, if you already have experience with the other EVM chain, so you just add this configuration to your hard hat config and it start working. Nothing special. The same with interaction from smart contracts. You can just work with our chain like with order Ethereum or Polygon and other chains. It's not as important. About the criteria which we expect from the project is, first of all, it's deploy smart contract on Gnosis chain. It could be testnet, it could be mainnet. It's a choice only for you. Provide some interaction with front end if you have front end to interact with smart contract which deployed on Gnosis chain, and have a few confirming transaction as a proof that the smart contract is working, not just deployed. And be ideal if you have working demo. Point bonuses. We are not limiting you to make public goods or tooling. But if you can show you that your project allows you to earn money, it will be really cool if you can show you how you're going to make it. Also, will be cool if you make a competitor analysis. Will be shows that you are ready to continue work on your project in future. We will support you in any case. And perfect if you also can make a customer research during the hackathon. As a few technical ideas which you can realize, first of all is faucet monitoring service, because a lot of chains have a problem that the faucet is empty and nobody can look after this. RPC node monitoring service and load balancer like Cloudflare, but for nodes. Tool for migrate dApp from one EVM chain to Gnosis Chain EVM. Of course, you can make it from Gnosis chain to other chain, or any one EVM chain to other EVM chain. And some node improvement. As example, you can extend if get balance RPC code and add support of returning balances or receipt fetched tokens as a balance. If we're talking about our native bridge, which we call Hashi, it's pretty new. And we have lack of tooling, so you can take the tooling of the bridges and connect it to Hashi. So it could be off-chain actor, or just explore, or proof of block header, or SDK, and or message or query message. As a bonus, I can provide. I share with you my hackathon guide, which I use during the works. It's pretty short. It provides you heated tricks how to effectively use a hackathon. And key points is start from the problem, not from the code. Make less features, but that will be work. Use a sponsor as participant as a first users. It will be give you correct feedback and advantages compare with your competitor on hackathon. And biggest value, it's not a price, it's a connection and letter of intent with potential your customers. And of course have a fun, because it's you spend your time, you need to get something from this your time. So that's all what I want to say from the technical side, and I want to
Hello everyone. So now that we got a bit of a technical overview, I'm going to go a bit into what kind of dApps you can build on Gnosis Chain, specifically one that I developed with my co-founders. We're called Fileverse. It's basically a non-financial dApp. We really wanted to show that, okay, it's time for the new generation of crypto projects that are not necessarily financial, that are not based on speculations or other. So ideally, this is a dApp that you'll show your grandmother and tell her, hey, blockchain can be useful. So this is the QR code just to Twitter. Because you're all builders, I thought that I would just start with a bit of a journey, just tell you a little bit first about myself and then why we started this and how. So for myself, I'm a second-time founder in crypto. In 2018, I created an AI crypto app called Alethea. It was quite successful, and now I'm fully focused on Fileverse. And on the side, I'm doing my PhD on AI and cybersecurity at Oxford. Don't hold it against me. Now, when we started Fileverse, it was 1.5 years ago, and what we really wanted to do is just start with a problem. There was one clear problem in our minds, and it was one of the remaining points of centralization in our space. You go today to talk to any project, any DAO, any company, individual in crypto, even hardcore decentralization fans, and you'll find that even Gitcoin DAO or the Ethereum Foundation itself are using Notion, are using Google Workspace, are using Microsoft Office, which, you know, amazing UX, but there are a lot of problems with those apps. Now, what problem? I don't see a problem. A lot of people would say that immediately, so let me tell you a little bit about those problems. So online collaboration today is extremely predatory and centralized. You have no privacy, you have no right to exit, which is one of the requirements of the GDPR, and you have no modularity. So specifically for Web3 natives, you can see that everyday online activities, so not like swapping on dexes which is, you do that maybe 3, 4, 5 times, depending on how degen you are. There needs to be an experience in crypto where every day you log in or you go on an app and you do stuff that are useful. So today, most people are locked in those centralized services. There is very little widespread utility for people that are just exploring for the first time Web3. And one of the worst things is that Web3 content is stored in centralized services somewhere in California. And on top of that, your first experience with the crypto world is high-risk transactions, bad UX, and high barriers to entry for most people. So, because you're all builders, let me tell you a little bit about our journey. We had this problem, we wanted to solve it. We went on Gitcoin, presented our idea, and people loved it. So within the first round, we became one of the most successful grants on Gitcoin. And so for the next 3 Gitcoin rounds, and the purpose of going on Gitcoin was, 1, bootstrap, get donations, and the second was get validation. We don't want to just have an idea, start raising, and try to convince people that our scam is worth it. You want to get validation, you want to see that people are interested in this, and you want to have users. So this is how we started, and probably my best advice is ship. So we started on Gitcoin, people were like, okay, here's our money. And at the end of Gitcoin round, we shipped a basic version that looks like WeTransfer. You upload the file, IPFS, end-to-end encrypted, share the file with anyone you want. 8 months later, this year actually, in February, we launched Fileverse Portal, which I'm going to demo in a second, and it was a resounding success. So we took what our users and our beta users were kind of giving us as feedback and the comments that they were giving us with the first version of the app. We integrated all that in a new version, which we call Portal, and it was quite successful. Just in 3 days of launching the general access, almost every block produced on Gnosis Chain had an average of 5 Fileverse transactions in them. Over 3,600 portals, smart contracts were deployed within 2 days. For those that did use our website instead of the IPFS gateway, we logged over 110 countries using the dApp, which is significant for a simple reason, which is financial dApps in crypto are really hard to access for 90% of the world. You don't want to go on Coinbase, have to buy assets in order to interact with the Web3 world. We want to give people a clear access without needing tokens and getting the benefits of our values, meaning privacy, decentralization, and 0 central points of failure. So after that, we were pretty happy. We went into whitelisting mode and we're concentrating on 4,000 user accounts and getting their feedback, testing stuff with them, etc. So just a bit of an overview, and then I'm going to demo and finish. The dApp is modular. We call it a trustless collaboration dApp. And you can basically think of it as a safe multisig. So trustlessly manage assets as a group or alone. But instead of just assets, add files, add data rooms, add contracts, add branding, which is essential for any DAO project, etc. So it's modular. You can also think of it as a browser. You can customize your browser with extensions. Now you can do that also with your workspace or collaboration space. You add a plugin. I'm a Reddit meme lord. This guy might be a lawyer. We have different visions of what our ideal workspace will look like. So you can customize it with plugins. Ecosystem, we've been doing organizing hackathons since 2016. This is something we're good at. We organized SheBuilds.tech a few months ago. It's the biggest gender-focused hackathon in India. Over 60% of non-male contribution, which is significant in crypto. And it's on-chain. So this is the link to the portal. If you want to try it, it's unique. It's whitelisting at the moment, so you won't get another chance. Or you come see me after and you can get a cool floppy disk that is for aesthetics, and also with an access to the private link. Although I don't have that many, so do scan that stuff. I'm going to wait 1 more second, 2 more seconds. Cool. So before I conclude, let me show you Fileverse Portal. This is the setup phase. It's a super straightforward process, like a safe multisig. I hope the Wi-Fi is going to be friendly. Like you can see already from the start, on the URL here, you have IPFS. You don't have to hit our servers if you don't want to. We're not here to log where your IP or anything like that. You can go directly from any IPFS gateway, access our static website, and use our dApp like you would if you went through our servers. So yeah, we have this mental model in our team, which is, if we all die tomorrow, can our users continue using the dApp? And the answer is basically yes now. So I pick my chain. I'll pick Gnosis because it's highly decentralized and throughput is amazing. Gnosis, I click on create the portal. It gives me a transaction. I sign it. And now you're deploying smart contracts on Gnosis. You can do it on Ethereum as well. And it will take a few seconds. Usually if you have a really good Wi-Fi, it will take literally 2 to 3 seconds. In the meantime, we are entertaining you with some blah blah. Okay, perfect. So, and the next step is it's signless. It's gasless, it's signless. You don't need to sign stuff whenever you want to interact with a smart contract or update it. And it's at the setup phase. It's pretty clear. I'm not going to do the whole thing here. I opened another portal just next to it. Okay, yeah, thank you. And this is what it looks like once you've set up the signless process, which literally takes a few seconds. So this is your portal. It's still in beta, but here you can drag and drop files, whatever you want. Let's take this. You can make it private or public. Private, anyone with a link, anyone that follows me, anyone that has my token or NFT or a CryptoPunk or whatever you want, or my collaborators, meaning people I've manually added to my smart contract. Or you make it public. If I click on public, no signature, you're uploading right now by default on IPFS, but you can do it with local storage, you can do it with Arweave, you can do it with whatever you want. Soon also, for those who prefer even centralized services, but I don't recommend it. Now you copy the link, you can share it with anyone you want, you have the QR code, and you have an IPFS hash if you want. Here I can upload another, or I can go into my productivity tools. So Google Workspace doesn't have this, but let's say I want to do something cool like that. I want to put that here. Here I'm gonna write demo. I can zoom out. And I can literally do anything I want on this page, on this whiteboard. And the coolest part is that you can invite 10, 15, 100 people on here. They'll all remain anonymous. They'll be represented by their ENS or their address, and they'll be interacting with you through peer-to-peer tech. So here I'm putting a title. I don't even need to publish it on IPFS or whatever storage option you decided. I can just leave, and if I go in my files, I'll find it in my draft. The way that the draft works is with a piece of tech, a peer-to-peer storage network called GON. GONDB is something used by a lot of political activists, so it's quite resistant, resilient, and quite effective. Your files are here, your folders are here. Here you can add manually or with a CVS as many addresses you want on your Vitalik.eth. You can add them manually or with a CVS onto your smart contract, which will give them access to create also files on that same portal or other. You have some analytics as well. You have settings to customize your portal, and I'll finish just with that. You also have a public view of portal. So this is me with private access to my portal, and this is a public one. I want to share that link with someone because I'm a writer, I'm a DAO that wants a community wiki, anything like that. You can have your files here. You can put any types of documents. You can token gate them. You can make them super private. You can make them public. Here's your profile. You can fill in stuff about yourself. And I'll show you one last cool thing, which is any of the files here are public. I'm going to click on this one. It was probably one of the biggest requests from our early community members. On Dropbox, on Google Drive, on Microsoft Office, you cannot load, render 3D files. And we have a lot of 3D artists and graphic designers that were complaining a lot about that. And they said, hey, can you fix that? So we did. Again, peer-to-peer tech. You can navigate any 3D file that an artist or whoever, or your NFTs without needing to go on OpenSea. And you can navigate and you can even chat with whoever shared that file with you. Hello, I'm represented by my address. It's end-to-end encrypted. There's some analytics about the file. I can upload a new version. I can edit it a little bit, etc. And I can download, of course, the file. So I'll stop here. I hope you liked it. I hope you'll share it. Please talk about us on Twitter. Because I think that next bull run, it will be very important to have non-financial dApps that show that the space is not only about speculation, and it's about reinventing the Web 2 world with better values, privacy, no central points of failures, etc. Thank you. Sorry? Okay, so like I said, you start on Gitcoin, best place to start, build in open. We were open source, we were free, we still are, and apply to grants. And the most important advice I can give you as builders is get validation, get traction and validation, show people that users come to your dApp, they're seeing the same problem you're seeing and the same solution you're proposing. So that's the best way to bootstrap and make sure your idea is not just a great idea in your head, but a great idea for everyone else. And once you've done that, so we've been doing that for 1.5 years, then you can start testing stuff. You can start monetizing with some users, DAOs who might have communities of 1,000 people and might want to customize the smart contracts, etc. Or you fundraise, and if you fundraise, maybe go more towards angels and protocols, not necessarily,
So afterwards, what channels?
In crypto, I would say it's Gitcoin. Gitcoin, Twitter, be good meme lords, spam Twitter with anime, stuff like that, and try to feel the vibe of crypto and respond to it. And if you want to expand beyond, there's Product Hunt, there's Reddit, there is places where you can also go and try to fetch non-Web3 users and introduce them to the Web3 world.
Here.
I'm putting the link here one last time in case anyone has missed it. Cool. And also, floppy disks. The dApp is on the back, QR code and URL, a bit of a description. And inside, some of them have some Easter eggs. You might have Doom compressed on it. You might have a private key. You might have a vulnerability. No, I'm kidding. But that's it. If there are no more questions, I'll stop here. Yeah.